it's Claire from Angelic Scallywags. Today I'm going to show you my Tincy Wincy collection of art supplies which I use to do absolutely all of my art. It's so tiny that it fits into this very small bag, which is just as well because I do most of my painting in bed at night whilst watching my favourite shows on television, so it needs to be super portable. I hope this demonstrates just how little you need to get started as an artist. Also, because there are so few items, every single one gets used for each piece I create. Let me just unpack the bag and then I'll go through each item. As a side note, I will be leaving the links of everything I talk about in this video in the description box below, so do check them out. And if you're enjoying my content, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. It really does help the algorithm and allows more people to see my videos. The first thing, I guess, is the main thing. The watercolour palettes. I was gifted these by my husband. They are Winsor & Newton Cotman range with 45 half pans and one Cotman brush. In retrospect, I probably could have managed with a smaller set. I really love the strength of the colours I can get with these paints, but I don't like the fact that they never seem to dry out properly, and in fact there are one or two paint colours that are really soft and difficult to paint with. Next is my water bottle. This is actually a pot for shampoo and has a special leak-proof and liquid flow control lid. Best buy ever. It really is completely leak-proof and is a soft malleable bottle which can squidge into any small awkward spaces. Now I will show you everything in my pencil case, which isn't a pencil case but a small makeup bag. It is the perfect size for my needs and has a handy zipped outer pocket where I store my knife for sharpening my pencils and my eraser. Right on the top is a spare Winsor & Newton tube of white paint, which I seem to constantly be running out of. I simply fill the empty pans as and when I need to and allow to dry before using them. Also inside my pencil case are 4 pencils with a range of softness. I have an HB, a 2B, a 4B and an 8B. My preference is 2B because it's easy to erase and isn't so hard that it marks the paper. In the pocket I keep a simple Winsor & Newton eraser. This came with the pencils and it's absolutely the best rubber I have ever come across. I also use a knife instead of a sharpener because for some reason I have never got along with sharpeners. I feel I have much more control using a knife. Then there are my brushes. I only use 3. They are all Winsor & Newton Cotman brushes. Are you seeing a pattern here? I use the 6mm brush for colour washing my journal pages. I use the number 3, which came with my watercolours, for the majority of my painting work, and to be honest, if I only had this one brush it would be enough. I use the number 1 brush for more small, detailed work. These 3 brushes are more than adequate for my needs. The black liners, also Winsor & Newton, I use extensively. I have a selection ranging from 0.1 to 1.0 mm in thickness and I use all of them, mainly for outlining my watercolours and for fine detail. And lastly, I have a white pen from Jelly Roll. I don't love this and actually could easily do without it. It doesn't coat well on the thickness of the watercolours I use. These days I use Procreate to add any white highlights to my work and find this to be far more satisfying. And let's not forget the journals. I have 2, both of which are moleskin journals with paper specifically for watercolours. The larger one I use for my double spread pieces of work, and the smaller one I use for individual sketch paintings I do with the goal of improving my ability. The last thing that I use every single time I create is my iPad, and this is really very essential for my work. I use Procreate extensively to turn my art into prints, cards and stickers. Basically I use it to create all of the products that I sell using my watercolours. I photograph my original watercolour and upload it into Procreate. I am then able to separate elements, add high and low lights and format it for printing. And there you have it, my Tincy Wincy collection of art supplies, so small I can store it all on the back of the door to my equally Tincy Wincy art studio. But that's a video for another day. I hope you've enjoyed. my complete collection of essential art supplies, and I hope that the week ahead of you is a creative one. Oh, and don't forget to dream impossible dreams.